What we do here is go back.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome to episode 80 of the Lost Media Podcast. Today we're talking about the Nickelodeon movie that used real bones, known as The Butcher. Is this a real thing? Does it exist? Is the person who talked about this in an online thread telling porcupines? Are they not telling the truth? What the hell's going on with this? I need to know immediately. I want to know right now. Right this second. This video, unfortunately, isn't going to help you guys figure out if this thing is real. It might help bring attention to it some more. It's not really possible to bring more attention to this. 2.1 million views is what Blame It on George's video about this topic got. And since then, it actually hasn't grown anywhere near as much intrigue as it probably could have, in my opinion. And that is because nobody knows what the hell this thing is. And in my opinion, it is not a real piece of lost media. Now, I'm going to get to why I believe it's not a real piece of lost media in a moment, but first I'm going to talk about what this thing entailed. Somebody posted to our obscure media, I think it was, or it was a website. Sorry, it was a subreddit of Reddit where people posted about something that they remember but they can't find. I can't remember what it's exactly called. I should know that. But this guy basically commented and said, there is a short that I remember watching on Nickelodeon somewhere between 2001 and 2004. It was in Spanish, and I lived in South America at the time. And it basically entailed real bones. It was a butcher who was butchering animals that were somehow made up of real bones, and it was in black and white. So it was seemingly live action, and it was just the hand butchering them. And this is like, in my opinion, some sort of ident. Actually, that is what it probably is. It's some sort of brief ident for Nickelodeon that was shared as part of, a unique ident that they wanted to show on the channels. Something different in between programs. The person who uploaded this doesn't claim that it was short or long. So in my opinion, this was short. It was a short for Nickelodeon in between the stuff. And it's a real hand butchering tiny little animals made up of real bones, and they're seemingly alive. And in the end, I think they're banding against the person who butchers them, and they're like, they morph into one. That part might be incorrect, guys, but they morph into one abomination towards the end of the short, and that's the butcher. This short. Yeah, it is seemingly, it's very creepy. For Nickelodeon, this is unbelievable. You'd never expect them to do something this disturbing on their network. It is very, very disturbing for Nickelodeon. But the person basically said, if anyone has seen this, I'd love you to get in touch with me. Now, another comment was found by someone in a totally unrelated thread to this one, basically saying, there was this short that scared the crap out of me when I was a little kid, and I lost it for 15 years. I could never find it, but I was watching it in Mexico on Nickelodeon. And he doesn't explain what the short's about, but he says, and after 15 long years, I finally found it. Man, that thing scared me. And this person who posted the original thing in the thread, the original post in the thread, replied to him and said, hey, is this the butcher? Would this happen to be the bones one? And that person never responded. So this just added more intrigue. Are they both talking about the same thing? Who knows? We don't know. That's what's made this search so frustrating. And it's not much of a search because there is such a little to go off, and there is such a small amount of people that know of this. This reminds me of the start of the search for Clockman. This reminds me a lot of how that search started. And I think this search could grow much more intrigue if more people come out with screenshots or heaps more people have information for it. But that is yet to happen. And you think that would have happened long ago, 3 years ago, because the video by Blame It on George reached a lot of people, especially in the lost media community. So that still hasn't happened. But apparently there was another guy who posted saying, my brother watched this when he was like 2 in 2005 or 6. He was born in 2004, which is right at the end of the original time frame the first guy talked about, when this could have aired. So he might have watched, the guy said in the post, he might have watched a re-airing in 2005 or 2006 where he's like 1 or 2 years old. And my brother doesn't remember anything but the real bones being used and the butcher's hand. That's all he remembers about it. And it's like, I guess believable that he'd remember that little, but very tough to believe that this kid, this 1-year-old or 2-year-old would remember this. That's all there is to the butcher. Guys, there's nothing else. There's different shorts that were somewhat related to this, that featured like a mini dinosaur in like a vase. And there was like there were 2 examples of media that could have been made by the same company, and there are a lot of theories spread around of who could have made this and that it's a possibility, but they never led to anything. So this is one of those great lost media mysteries that will probably never be uncovered because there is such few leads, and there are still no leads to this day. All it is this one guy posting, and everyone else is like, I'm really sorry, I don't remember. Part of the reason could be because it's South America and Mexico, so you never know. And another part of the reason could be that it is a very small short. It's just something in between the programs, as I said, and it might not even be something that is remembered by anyone because it's so obscure and so brief on television. And it might have got a few complaints 1 or 2 times after it was aired, so that it got cut. So this guy might have been the only person who watched this. Like, there's so many things that could compound to him either being the only person who saw this, or one of only a few thousand people who ever saw this short, or this thing just not existing and him falsely remembering a dream he might have had, or a dream he had that related to something he did see that was like this, but wasn't the same thing. The second guy who posted, who said he found this after 15 years, he said that his friends thought he was remembering an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. So that was another aspect of his post that made the original poster who replied to him believe that he was probably talking about the butcher. This guy has never been discovered even since Blame It on George's video was released. And this was probably the only lead to being able to find this. And yeah, that's my major point to believing that this thing doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist. Now, the short that relates to it is like kind of similar with the real bones, but that's it. That's the only relation to what this guy has described. It's just the dinosaur, as I said, in the vase. And it's been playing behind me, I think, as well as Blame It on George's video. That's, well, my opinion, before I say that's all there is to it and end the episode of the Lost Media Podcast, episode 80 of the Lost Media Podcast, I must say that, yeah, I'm on the fence to whether or not this is real. The existence is still unconfirmed, is what it says on the Lost Media Wiki. But I'm still on the fence because I believe that there's a chance it's real, and it was just aired to one country in South America, or aired in a very brief amount of time, and this guy's one of only a few people who have seen it. But there's a chance that this is just something that he's misremembered, that he wasn't, he thought he saw it, but he didn't. Look, I'll be the pessimistic. I'll lead towards this being real. Why not? I'm usually the person who says this thing's probably fake. I'm going to say this one's real, actually. I'm just going to say that it's so little known and aired to such few people that it probably will never be found again. And there probably won't be many more people that come out and say, hey, I saw this. It probably won't be any more people. So this person might be called a liar and a fake for many years, when really he did see this, but you just can't find it. Which is a big shame, because I wish this thing got more attention than it should have, because 2.1 million views with this being the title and the thumbnail of that video, and the Lost Media Wiki page being so brief about it compared to something like Slamfest 99, which is a topic featured in the same video by Blame It on George. It's a shame. I would have loved this to get more effort put into it for people trying to find it. And I think it will one day. But for now, it is just, for a few years now, it is just a little brief piece of lost media history that doesn't exist, or we don't know if it exists. It's just a little story from someone in a forum, in a little thread. Yeah, who knows, guys? Who knows? But I will say that my opinion is that this was 30 seconds to 45 seconds long, and is just a really weird amalgamation of someone's strange idea. And Nickelodeon was like, this is cool, we'll air this. And then a lot of complaints, we'll stop airing this. And it would have been aired very few times. There you go. Now I'm repeating myself, which is a good sign that I should need to end, that I actually should end the Lost Media podcast. Again, thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you if you liked my Goomba haircut. I actually cut my hair myself. So that's why it looks so stupid. Now I look like a character from a TV show of sorts. Look like a mad scientist from Robot Chicken, from the intro to Robot Chicken. Oh my god. Or Sweeney Todd. For fuck's sakes. I need to end this. It is time to end this. Thanks, guys. Episode 80 of the Lost Media podcast. More episodes coming soon. It should be awesome. I'm going to talk about some more topics that everyone loves, or hopefully likes. The end.